New research out today finds that there was an increase in sterilization procedures among young people ages 18 to 30 after the Supreme Court decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. That is the case that overturned Roe versus Wade. So the vertical line here in the chart above me is the Dobbs decision, and you can see that there was a significant increase in sterilizations after the decision, as well as the immediate period leading up to it. However, if you look at these lines, that light blue line is tubal sterilizations. So those are sterilizations in people with ovaries and a uterus. And the bottom line here is vasectomies. So that's sterilizations for penis havers. And what you see is that the number of tubal sterilizations increased far more than the number of vasectomies. And that increase has been sustained. So the number keeps going up significantly, whereas the increase in vasectomies has kind of leveled off, although it's still higher than it was previously. So what are the big takeaways from that? First of all, we're seeing that the burden of preventing pregnancy is still falling disproportionately on people with uteruses. However, one thing that is important to note is that historically, it's been really difficult for people who want tubal sterilizations to get them. So some of this increase is undoubtedly good. It means that there are people who really want sterilization procedures, and finally they're finding doctors who are willing to do it without the consent of their husband, which was the common practice for a long time. In some places it was the law, and some doctors still ask people to get their partner's permission before having that type of sterilization procedure. However, we also do know that some people are making contraceptive decisions they otherwise wouldn't because they're afraid to get pregnant in the states that they live in, now that many states have been allowed to ban abortion. That's something that I have reported on, and it's something a lot of experts remain concerned about, because while people who want to be sterilized should absolutely be able to have that choice, it's not a choice that someone should have to make under pressure, or just because they're afraid that they won't be able to get an abortion when they need one, or that they could die of pregnancy complications in a state where they can't receive good treatment. One final thing I want to add is that for a lot of people, tubal ligation is covered under their insurance because it's considered a preventive service under the Affordable Care Act that insurers have to cover, while vasectomies are not. And tubal ligation procedures are much more intensive. It's a more major surgery. They're more expensive. They're more difficult to recover from, and they're far more difficult to reverse if people want that. And some tubal procedures are not reversible at all. Whereas vasectomies are reversible. It's a much easier and cheaper procedure, and yet insurance coverage rules are incentivizing people to get that tubal ligation instead of the vasectomy, which is the easier and cheaper procedure in the first place.